Mixie51 wrote the following in the explaining ANGORAMON DIGIVOLUTION line video, and I quote, "Finally, back to Ghost Game Digimon. I'm only certain that you'll cover Jellymon next." Well, Mixie51, why not? I could read the excitement from your comments, so I told myself, why not make at least someone in this beautiful planet happy? Hello guys, I hope you're all doing just fine. Welcome to another Explaining Digimon video, the one where we're going to discuss another main Digimon Ghost Game Digimon. We've been through Gammamon, which was a very interesting one. We've also been through Angoramon's line, one who brought us to Irish mythology. And now we're going to talk about Jellymon, who is Kyoshiro Higashimitarai's Digimon partner. And with Jellymon, I sure have to say, last but not least. I'm especially happy to go through this Digimon, as it is an extra addition in a subject we had brought up a couple of times already, and a subject that is also heavily underrated, namely digital life underwater. In the Explaining Marine ANGEMON and CTHYLLAMON video, we had only scratched the surface, but quickly came to the conclusion that there are not one but many sea deities, may them be angels or straight up gods. So there is so much that needs to be explored concerning the net ocean. That's why every time we get some new information, I'll make sure to also link to our previous videos where we discussed some of those underwater deities. That way, you can always catch up to what has been said previously. So, Jellymon. There is so much that can be said about our little pink humanoid mollusk Digimon who is based on the jellyfish. Those incredible underwater creatures who make their own light for defense to startle predators. There aren't many mollusk type Digimon, but they do exist, and we have been through the line of one already, namely SHELLMON. We dedicated an entire video about its Digivolution line, and to my shock, it digivolved into another deity Digimon who we are definitely going to mention later on in this video, just to make sure that we are well informed about what's truly going on in the depth of the net ocean. But so, Jellymon is a Digimon with a squishy head like a jellyfish. Its whole body is flexible, allowing it to retract its body into its head, and it usually lives with just its head showing. And interestingly, despite belonging to the Deep Savers family, whose members are generally aquatic or polar Digimon, or those who dwell in marine areas, Jellymon can live perfectly above water, and when its entire body is inside its head, it becomes light enough to fly just by being blown by the wind. It adores beautiful environments and actions, however once it sees foul behavior, it will free its body in anger and turn into its battle mode, where it can either use its countless tentacles to restrict the opponent's movements, or it can launch a paralysis attack in which it discharges static electricity from the tips of its tentacles. It's always interesting to see an aquatic Digimon being capable of using electricity. MegaSeedramon can do the same, and that always impressed me. And this reminds me, now that I am mentioning Seedramon, did you know that in the new Digimon game Digimon Story Time Stranger we were given a new variant called Skull Seedramon? This really made me want to discuss it because the design is nothing short of crazy. But I think that I could simply make a video where we discuss the Skull Digimon, because I don't think we have ever done that. But I'm glad that the concept of Skull Digimon is still pretty much being considered in the franchise. I love this because it shows that the Digimon developers still keep in mind some of the older concepts. So really well done. But so, Jellymon is an aquatic Digimon that can use lightning. So it's no surprise that its next form, its champion form, is going to be called TESLAJellymon. The Tesla is not a reference to Elon Musk's electric car, although you might see it as such. Tesla is a reference to Nikola Tesla, the man known for his contributions to the design of the modern AC electricity supply, which is the foundation of the electrical grid used globally today. And TESLAJellymon is sort of like a partial digital reincarnation of the man. I say partial because there's lots more that was used to give birth to TESLAJellymon. For example, did you know that aside of being yet another humanoid jellyfish, that it has also absorbed the data from combat sports like steel cage death matches while in search of fun and stimulation. Because of it, TESLAJellymon displayed skills coming from disciplines such as karate, professional wrestling, and other fighting styles. And on top of that, its electric shock techniques have been further enhanced. Now, it can send an electric shock from its palms directly to an opponent's weak point. It has lots of electric techniques and has the flexibility to easily dodge opponents' attacks, so it now became a Digimon who has its roots taking it to Nikola Tesla and to basically mixed martial arts while being a humanoid jellyfish. That's Digimon for you, my good friends. It can't get crazier than this anime. Now, when it comes to TESLAJellymon's Ultimate and Mega, that's where it gets really interesting. You see, we can assume that Jellymon and TESLAJellymon don't exactly live in the deepest depth of the net ocean, also known as the birthplace of Digimon, the area from where Digimon originally came from. However, when we continue to follow TESLAJellymon's line, I believe we can safely assume that in order for it to digivolve properly, that it would go deep into the net ocean to become Thetismon, the aqua-based Digimon, and a Digimon that was discovered in the deepest trenches of the net ocean. Thetismon is extremely interesting because, while having the appearance of a humanoid woman with jellyfish characteristics, its roots would now bring it to Greek mythology, as its mythological ancestor is Thetis. And Thetis is not only a powerful and beautiful sea goddess with the ability to shapeshift and change her form at will, but she's also the mother of Greek hero Achilles, who is most known to be this invincible warrior who battled against Troy. Achilles was thus a demigod. But this would mean that Thetismon in another life was the mother of Achillesmon, a Mega Digimon with extreme physical abilities that it has no weaknesses. That's crazy, right? I'd have loved to have seen an interaction between Thetismon and Achillesmon and just let it be a sort of continuation of both their stories, but in the digital world. Being based on a goddess, it is of no surprise that Thetismon is one who lays down the law in the area it resides in. Not only does it bring peace and tranquility to its own vast territory, but it also lays down the law on any Digimon that dare to disturb it. It doesn't govern with an iron fist, as it is in fact a very supportive Digimon. It has this ingrained need to help the weak and weaken the strong. As such, while it shows no mercy to Digimon who threaten its territory, it is kind to those in need of help, guiding them to safety. And if Digimon it brought to safety are hurt, then Thetismon will release its tentacles from which various medicines are generated from. With this ability, it can heal allies' wounds and temporarily boost their powers. However, if it is used against an enemy, it will afflict them with a deadly poison that disintegrates them from the inside out. And if enemies aren't poisoned, then they will have to face Thetismon's electrical energy accumulated in its palms. Running away might not be an easy thing to do, as it has some of those space manipulation techniques. For example, Thetismon can teleport by removing the space between it and its opponent. So that's really an interesting and powerful aquatic Digimon who, mind you, is only at the ultimate level. Its mega level is Amphimon, a cyborg Digimon and one I have so much to say about. First and foremost, let me tell you that I always find it very interesting when we have a cyborg Digimon at the mega level. It reminds me of ANGEMON or Greymon, who I have also quite a few things to say about. Or even Invisimon, who is a new addition to the Digimon collective known as the Crack Team. Invisimon made its debut in the Digimon Liberator web novel. We're going to talk about it later on. The difference between these cyborg Digimon and Amphimon is that Amphimon's roots also take it to the Greek gods, namely Amphitrite. And Amphitrite is the ancient Greek goddess of the sea, wife of the god Poseidon, and thus First Lady, or simply said, Queen of the Sea. In fact, she personifies the sea according to myth. And here is where it gets interesting when it comes to Digimon. There are at least 4 Digimon who are rulers of the sea. Depending on what universe we're talking about, there may be only one of them in the net ocean, or all of them, which could potentially lead to possible clashes. If we were to imagine that the net ocean of the digital world would also connect to the net ocean of the Appmon world, then Amphimon would come in close proximity to the Appmon Poseidonmon, known as the supreme ruler of the rough seas, who is said to be so strong that the tides it creates boast impenetrable defense. Could that bring a potential conflict? What about the Olympus 12 god Neptunemon, the one aquatic god claimed to govern all aquatic Digimon? Its presence is so defining that it even constructed a castle to reside within what is called the Abyss Sanctuary at the far depth of the sea. Only those strong enough to withstand the water pressure managed to enter the extreme depth. And we're not done yet. There is also Ancient Mermaidmon, the guardian goddess of the net ocean. One who is so powerful that it can rule the whole of all water as if they were its own limbs. And a goddess who has been guilty of erasing countless continents and islands because it felt angry. I guess that's why we say hell has no fury like a woman scorned. And you know, now that I'm thinking, what about RYUGUMON? A Digimon who clearly has its own authority in the net ocean, as it even has its own castle and appoint its own palace gatekeeper like SHAGARAMON. Wait, who am I talking about? SHAGARAMON. I never heard nor saw this Digimon before. It's a holy dragon but an aquatic one. By the way, let me go back. I think I read something new in RYUGUMON's profile. It is one of the Tentei Hashibushu. I did not see that when I made the SHELLMON video, huh? And who are the Tentei Hashibushu? Oh, okay. Whoa, so they are a new group. My wish came through, I think, when I wanted to have a group of Chinese and Japanese inspired Digimon. Have I been sleeping? Oh, they are the royal knights of a new digital world called Shambala. Hey, I think I have been sleeping. What? A digital world that exists on a different server from the digital world ruled by Yggdrasil and digital world Iliad ruled by Homerus. And there's a new host computer, Kunlun. Wait, so that means that the Olympus 12 not just have this rivalry with the Royal Knights, now we also have this potential rivalry with a new group of Digimon protecting their digital world. Is it a coincidence when I make certain wishes concerning Digimon and then they come out? Or do the developers really listen to what I'm saying? We have a new digital world. I'm shocked actually. Okay, look. I'm sorry, I've been dragged on. Let me go back to Amphimon. Wow. Okay, so Amphimon is a Digimon with roots taking it back to godhood, and what it tends to do is travel throughout the vast net ocean while being a sort of diplomat who connects aquatic Digimon with one another. It doesn't really have a palace like some of the other Digimon underwater. It rather travels and even dives into the depth of the sea thanks to the pressurized bodysuit that covers its entire body. Heck, it is even able to enter the Abyss Sanctuary in the deepest part of the sea, where Neptunemon would reside. So there is basically no area where Amphimon cannot really enter or penetrate, hence showing the godlike power it has. And here's something extremely interesting. You see, normally when a Digimon dies, it will get reincarnated into a Digi-Egg. Later on, when the story developed and the universe got bigger, we learned that when Digimon die, then their story and character will be judged by Anubimon. And those who lived good will be reincarnated and those who were bad will remain in the dark area. Obviously, some Digimon who are powerful enough manage to bypass the judgment, like Digimon such as Apocalypse, who can leave parts of themselves in the world of the living and then get reincarnated. Same goes with Bagramon, who reincarnated in both Quartzmon and an old Clockman. But with Amphimon I learned that, like Angel or Deity Digimon, it is permitted to judge evil and carry out judgment in the net ocean. I can't say what it entails. Does it mean that it can stop deceased aquatic Digimon from ever reincarnating? If so, in what position would that put Amphimon next to the other godlike Digimon? So many questions. Now, when it comes to battle, Amphimon is obviously one not to be underestimated. When a battle breaks out, its typically upbeat demeanor can shift as quickly as the tumultuous sea, and it strikes down evildoers with a single blow. It can also fire off frigid energy from its fists to freeze its target. It can swing its hands horizontally to send off a cutter made of highly pressurized water, and for defense, it can set up an electromagnetic shield created by jellyfish units to protect itself and its allies. So that about sums it up for Amphimon and its Digivolution line, and hence bringing us to the end of the video. And to be honest guys, I have actually no idea what to add. I mean, I wanted to discuss Amphimon's Digivolution line, and I did, but only to come to the awareness that there is literally another digital world out there and I did not exactly know about it. It means that there is now even more to explore, and obviously I'm very excited, but I'm quite shocked that I completely missed it. I can only say the following: make sure to like the video, it helps the channel a lot, especially for the YouTube algorithm, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, it means the world to me. In this channel, trust me when I say it, we're going to go into the details, we're going to dive deeper and deeper and discuss that which you never really thought of discussing when it comes to Digimon. Also, make sure to write the subjects you want to see discussed in the comment section, just like Mixie51 has done. That way I can simply use your comments for the next video. Obviously I'll do the shout out. And very important, write down how you think about the Amphimon line. Please don't get too distracted about the new information about the new digital world and the new team that is out there. I'm also very excited, but let's also respect Amphimon, who is also a very interesting Digimon, not just in terms of design, but also in terms of what it embodies in the net ocean. But this now also means that we have finally discussed the 3 mascot Digimon of Digimon Ghost Game. Not bad. Now, if you're new, please don't forget that all Digimon videos are placed in particular Digimon playlists, which are always updated, that way you can catch up to newer and older videos.